Hello, my name is Cameron Mason, and today we're going to be working on making a copper straight through cord. Me and my partner.
My name is Christian Deese, and I'm also going to be helping them work on the copper straight through cord.
So what we're finna do is we're gonna make a copper straight through. We each go take one end, and we're gonna strip the cord. We're gonna rearrange the wires, and then place them all inside the pins in the correct order, and then grip it, and then we're gonna check for connectivity.
All right. So now I'm going to go over all the items we'll be using in the video. This is the cable tester. It's going to test the connectivity of the straight through wire to show that it connects all the way through. That's what we got. That we have our jackets to put on the wire. We have our RG45. We got our IG4. We have the RJ45 cable connector. We have our Cat6 cable that we'll be using to make the straight through copper cable. We have our crimper tool that we're going to use to crimp the cable. And we have our wire cutter that we're going to use to cut the wire if needed. So now we're gonna strip the wires and show that we stripped the wires. So
All right.
We're gonna get into that.
A little bit more in depth. If you look on your crimper, it'll say strip. Put it in the strip slot.
Right there.
You put it in the strip slot. Press down a little bit, and then you just go around the cord. You can go back and forth a little bit, and then from here, you can just pull it right off.
Just like that. Easy. Okay. So you also, with your jacket, you want to put it on while the wires are still like kind of together. That way it's just easier.
Yeah, just for convenience.
Yeah,
you
for
don't
convenience.
Want to get through sorting out your wires and then realize you didn't put your jacket on, or like
Having to detangle your wires, and it's just gonna be a mess.
yeah. All right, so next, after you put the jacket on, what you want to do is start untangling your wires. And what I like to do with a Cat6, they have the divider in the middle. So I take each wire and I pull it out in its own direction. And then the next thing that I come and do is this middle part is not necessary. It's just a divider. It's extra protection for the wire. The next thing that I do is I take the wire cutter and I cut this center piece out, because whenever we get further into the process, it'll make it easier to actually twist your wire, cut them. My fault.
Good.
And from there, once you have each wire out, you can go and look at the pin out and start untwisting the wires. What I like to do is, since I know how the wires are supposed to be aligned, I like to start taking whatever wires are supposed to go first, and I align them that way, and I untwist them as I'm going. But for the purposes of this video, I'll just go ahead and show you me untwisting the wires and getting them all out. And what I like to do is untwist each one individually and then take them individually and try to like straighten them. Straight down. So once I get one untwisted, I take each one out of the pair and straighten those. Then I still kind of leave them their own space, so the wires aren't all over the place. And for the last one, you'll notice that some of the wires are easier to untwist than others. They have different amount of twists in the different pairs, just depending on the colors. Here we have all the wires straightened out.
Still straighten them out a little bit.
And from here, you begin to straighten the wires and arrange them in the correct order.
Yeah. And we're doing a straight through, so both ends are going to be the same when you arrange them. Since it's a video, there's going to be probably going to be an image of the straight through and how it looks. but for good reference. This is what we're going for. So you're gonna have your 2 oranges there, a green, a blue, or striped green, a solid blue, striped blue, solid green, striped brown, solid brown. And then it's gonna be that for both ends. So we're gonna handle that. He's currently doing his. I'm starting to arrange mine around. We'll get back to you once these are arranged.
All right, so we're gonna start working on rearranging the wires, and we have the pin out right here to the side, but we're each just gonna take our time and arrange them, and you don't have to be in a rush.
Just don't rush at all.
Yeah, I find that the more I rush, the harder it makes it, and especially with Cat 6, I say the hardest one to make is probably crossover because of how the wires are actually crossing over each other whenever you're trying to align them. So with a straight through, I say it's just a slight bit easier.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So this is what, let it focus. Hold on. So he's still working on his, but he straightened them out, make sure they're all straight. But once you get it done, it should look something like this. Let's take a look at that diagram again. So it should look something like this. And then once you straighten it, you want to put your RJ45 clip on it, plug clip. And we're going to show y'all that now. And we're back. So make sure when you put the wires through, the clip is face down. So it's facing down away from you. You want it to look like this. And he got his right there too. So you want it to look like this. This facing.
You want it to face away from you.
Yeah, face away from you. Yeah, you want the gold.
So from my point of view, you'll see the pin. The pin right here on the back is pointing towards the camera. It's pointing towards you. So from my point of view, I'm looking at this direction. You want to be looking at the pins almost whenever you're doing it.
And be careful when you're sliding the wires in because they do tend to get tangled up depending on how long the wire is. So let's see mine.
Last thing you want is to put your wires in and you realize that they're completely out of order.
See, yeah, look. It's a prime example. My wires got tangled up. So this is just an example of what you don't want it to look like when your wires get tangled up.
And here's an example of mine. When I was trying to push the pins in, you see my last wire got bent. You want to make sure your wires are completely straightened out.
Yeah, so they can slide right through. But just make sure that if they do get tangled up in the middle of you trying to slide it through the RJ45 connector, just make sure that each one is in its right order. So I'm going to take this off and redo it.
All right.
So I'm going to try to get mine back in there. Ah, perfect. And
there we go. And once you actually do get the clip on, just like what CJ did, you want to go through and check. All I do is pull the wires apart so I know for sure the order that they're in.
See right here, you probably can't see it, so stop this and I'm gonna flip it again. So you'll know when it's right when you flatten it out like this. You have striped orange, solid orange, striped green, solid blue, striped blue, solid green, striped brown, solid brown, all in fashion. That is the fashion of the straight through cable that you want right there. Make sure when you put the RJ45 plug connector on there, you actually give it some, push it in until it doesn't have any more leeway. That way, when you crimp it, all the connectors, all the wires will be straight and in the clip. Cam is finishing up his. I think he's done. Yep, see? Just how he has his.
Brown, going back the other way, brown stripe, green, blue stripe, blue, green stripe, orange stripe.
And that's how you want your straight throughs to be. So now we're going to show you us crimping the wires, and yeah.
So when you're crimping a wire, what you want to make sure of, and this could be a problem for some, is make sure that the actual wire, the blue part, make sure it comes through to almost this part right here, so that when it crimps down on the wire. You don't have to worry about this coming off anymore.
Okay. So yeah, we're gonna we'll get a close-up of him crimping. That's all.
So once you have it like this, reference, you're gonna take it through this way. On my crimper, you can go this way. Try to get the wires through on the other end, and you wanna insert it in just like that, looking at this side. And it also shows you on the crimper also how the wires should be, the different standards. And then here we are on this side. You can see the wires coming through on the back. And if you have excess wire, don't worry about that. The crimper is gonna cut that off anyways. Oh, had a little accident right there. Okay, so once you have it in, once everything's set up, you just squeeze the crimper. But you want to make sure you squeeze it all the way, and there you have it.
I'm gonna get my side done, and then we'll be right back to you. So again, he crimped his. I'm gonna crimp my end. Make sure you have the wire hanging out the end, and yeah, we're just gonna get the crimping enough taut.
All right. Okay. So after a successful crimp, what you want to do is put on your jacket. And the way the jacket works, this hub end right here is supposed to go over your clip. The way I like to do it is sometimes I like to get the clip in first, because the last thing you want on your Ethernet cable is damage to that clip. I don't know if you guys game or anything or have any personal experiences, but if that clip messes up, you can't really connect it in there. It's kind of holding the connector in place, and you just don't want that clip messed up. So you put the clip on, slide the rest of the jacket on. There you have it.
All right. And before we end the video, we have to test it to show you that it all works. Again, this is the cable tester we'll be using, and you're gonna plug it in to the RJ45 plug-in clip. If you can see that right there, he's gonna plug his in. Oh Lord have mercy. All right, he's gonna plug his in, plug my end in, just like that. They snap in.
And make sure you don't plug both ends into this side.
Yeah.
One side, the other side.
Yes. All right, and then here, we're gonna turn it on. To show that it's working, it's going to just go down like this, and it should have a straight through flow. The difference between the crossover and the straight throughs flow is that the straight through is just going to go down straight through. Both ends are going to be even. And I'm going to show you an example of what a crossover look like. I have a crossover in my bag. I'll show you what that looks like just for an example. Okay, let me turn this off. Unplug it.
You got it.
I got it. I'm just gonna stop this. So, I made this off camera. This is not a straight through. This is a crossover. And I'm gonna show you the difference between the crossover and a straight through. Respect. So plug it in the same way because it's a RJ45 cable. So snap it in there and snap it in here like that. I'm using a Cat 5 cable, so it's a little bit different. And once you turn it on, this is the difference you'll get. They're both still flowing, but the crossover channels are going to shine differently. So one's going to be ahead of the other, one's going to go straight through, and one's going to cross up between nodes, if you understand what I mean by that. But yeah.